Our program today is the 311 Spring Meeting Preview. This webinar offers a sneak peek into the great lineup we have at this year's 311 Synergy Group Spring Meeting at the end of this month in sunny Phoenix, Arizona. We'll have sessions for both the newbies and for established programs that have been there and done that. Our agenda is full of interactive activities to keep you moving and learning from other participants as well as our esteemed presenters and sponsors. Our speakers today are Donna Williams-Ormond, Operations Manager of the 311 Customer Care Call Center in Richmond, Virginia, and myself, Lynnette, ATL 311 Customer Service Center Manager for the City of Atlanta. We also have our 311 Synergy Group Diamond sponsors joining us today. We have Tiffany Blair, Senior Principal Product Manager from Oracle, Jeff Friedman, Director of eGov Business Development, and Yumaine Rasa, Solution Specialist for Microsoft, with their partner, Grant McLarnon, CEO of Adoxio. The 311 Synergy Group invites you to join us for our annual 311 Synergy meeting in Phoenix, Arizona this month, April 24th through 26th, 2016. I remember when I saw that date several months ago, I thought, oh, we've got plenty of time, and here it's just right around the corner. It's a 3-day event packed with great sessions that we can all benefit from, whether we've been to one of these meetings before or not. It's not too late to register if you haven't done so already. The 311 Synergy Group also has a group on LinkedIn. Please join us for industry news and networking. During our presentation, if you have any questions, please upload your questions to the Q&A panel. See the arrow there. And remember to select all participants so everyone can see them. We will address them at the end of the presentation where we have allotted time for questions and answers. With that said, I will start us off with a short preview of the 311 Spring Meeting. Again, the 311 Synergy Group will have its spring meeting, at the Phoenix Convention Center in the North Building in Phoenix, Arizona, April 25th through 26th, 2016. Just a little overview on the 311 Synergy Group. We are an industry networking group for current and prospective 311 customer contact centers throughout North America. There is a lot of information sharing, education, and it's always lots of fun. This group is open to all municipalities with an interest in 311. Our 2016 chairperson is Leslie Ham, 311 Director for Montgomery County, Maryland. So again, hoping that you join your industry peers at the 12th Annual Synergy Group in Phoenix. Just want to go over the agenda highlights. We will kick it off with a Rock Your World interactive exercise. Managing the Millennials. Our lovely Donna will be presenting to discuss characteristics of Millennials along with myths and tips for recruiting and hiring Millennials and more. We have occupational wellness, Techie Talk. A very diverse and robust discussion awaits you as various presenters discuss live chat, technology stack and trends. You do not want to miss out on any of these discussions. The annual competitive survey results. Margaret with Dallas 311 will be sharing the competitive results. Curious to know how you stack with the others? Well, this is a session you do not want to miss. There's so much to learn, and you'll learn the full gamut ranging from operating hours to call volumes, staffing, and a whole lot more. Leveraging technology to improve agent performance and drive customer satisfaction. Training and retaining valuable employees. We know how critical this is. Get access to industry trainers who will discuss creating team unity and establishing a foundation for success for your new employees. from training to call center floor, how to train, incentivize, and motivate employees to exceed expectations. What's next for 311? That's always a topic of discussion. We have our learning lounges, which I'll talk a little bit more about, and then we start in the clock. And then we cannot wait to announce the award winner of the Award of Excellence. We just can't wait. We're extremely excited about that. Can't wait to find out who it is. Learning lounges. So you'll be able to visit 3 different tabletop learning lounges. Participate and enjoy informal, small group facilitated discussions. These half-hour sessions are specific, topical, concise, and practical. The Learning Lounge series includes discussions about the following topics: policies and procedures. We know how critical that is. Well, those are small 311 customer service centers and utilities integration and 311 call centers. Some of the things that were discussed on that lounge is some of the things you need to know, some of the things you need to talk about before you embark on, or as you embark on integrating or even considering integrating your utilities into your 311 contact center. Governance and autonomy, technology stack, consolidated versus proprietary systems access, single versus skill-based routing from a telephony perspective. And what's been critical in our environment, although all of these things have been, compensation that's commensurate with the duties and responsibilities. So when you integrate a utility component, particularly with water, gas, electric, those utilities in the private setting, private sector, the compensation often is higher than city government. And so you want to think about whether you want to have, agents that are cross-trained to handle all city services and what the compensation should look like for those, or if it's going to be skill-based, and maybe you'll have levels of your CSR agents. And so some things to think about, some of the minimum qualifications for those agents, if you have a tiered approach, that are responsible for general information, providing information, and with those that have responsibility for transactional activities. Okay, and so I'd like to turn it over to Ms. Donna Williams-Ormond with the City of Richmond to discuss managing millennials. Thank you, Donna, for joining us today.
From the state of Richmond, Virginia, and we have roughly 215,000 residents, but because our 311 reports into our Department of Public Utilities, we actually have a territory of about 600,000 customers. Let's see here, anything else you need to, we are unique. Our 311 and our utilities are combined, and it's roughly almost 45% of the calls are 311, and the other will be the utilities. We are an enterprise fund. We have over 700 employees in DPU, and we've been serving the Richmond area for 170 years. So let's talk about the millennials. Okay. Millennials born between 1981 and 2001. I'm sure you had some where you were, or you might even have some as your children. And they are different. I'm a baby boomer. I can tell you, we're different. Every generation is different. What's special about the millennials is that they are now the largest living generation. They have overtaken the baby boomers. The Generation Y, they are less than the millennials, and they're less than the baby boomers. So we're going to have a lot of millennials coming on, leading organizations really fast. And they might not be quite ready, and we have to help them. Let's talk about some characteristics of the millennials. Everything is download now, instant gratification. They spend over 30 hours a week on a multimedia device. They've always had, or by the time they could get one, a digital device. A significant event to millennials was the Columbine High School tragedy. And just imagine how that impacted the millennials in school, whether it was middle school, high school. That was a big impact. The major technology, the internet. One of their key descriptors, hopeful. A key trait is resourceful because they can find anything on the internet or wherever. Okay, what do millennials want, need, like, and dislike? They like working with strong coaches and mentors. Lots of feedback. They're not going to be to come in and say you're the supervisor and just assume that they don't have input into what's going on. They're going to want to participate. They're going to want a lot of feedback. They want to feel like they're part of the process. They need structure. They like goals, and you have to give them milestones because they want feedback often. Unlike us baby boomers, you know, we'll wait till the annual review. You know, unless it's bad news, you know, we'll wait. Clarify expectations. Make it clear as to what you expect of them. They want to work in teams because this is the generation where the education system changed and basically teachers became more facilitators to students in teams. So that's how they're used to working. They don't like no. They don't like no at all. If any of you ever had to work anything that you put out, you get challenged and challenged and challenged because they just don't like no. But come to the 2016 311 Synergy Group meeting, and I will let you know more and more and give you more tips on how to manage and live with your millennials. Any questions? And I guess, Amber, who's next? Is that Amber?
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Donna, for that glimpse into your 311 Synergy Group Spring Meeting presentation. So next we will have our 311 Synergy Group sponsor, Microsoft, presenting with their partner, Adaccio. Thank you, Jeff, Humane, and Grant for joining us today.
Hi everybody, Jeff Friedman from Microsoft, also from the city of Philadelphia. Thanks a lot for having us on. This is just a quick agenda. Becky Joe is not going to be on the call today. She couldn't make it. She's in a meeting with high-level Grand Rapids officials, but she'll be with us at 311 Synergy in a few weeks in Phoenix. So I just wanted to talk for a few minutes to kind of set the context. Microsoft has a program called CityNext, and it's really a vehicle for talking and action about everything that we and our partners are doing with and for cities. So there's sort of these three main pillars that we focus on: transform, engage, and accelerate. Transform is thinking about how do we improve through better solutions, better deployment, better usage of tools to improve the efficiency, effectiveness of your operations, whether they're administrative, it could be tax and revenue, could be operational, fleet management, something in health and human services or police. Engage is really thinking about how do we make the user experience better for both the citizen and business. For citizens, obviously, that's really 311 citizen services. For businesses, it's how do they transact with government more efficiently and seamlessly? How do they find out what licenses they need? How do they pay for them online? How do they get, reliable updates and information about what they might need to do in terms of renewals, et cetera. And then Accelerate refers to programs that we have coming out of two Microsoft business groups primarily. One is our citizenship organization, and the other is DX, which stands for Developer Experience. So these are really mostly pro bono programs that help bring underrepresented groups to awareness of and involvement in STEM activities and careers. And then the other programs coming out of DX are focused really on economic development. So how do you engage some of those same people that you're touching through citizenship, but how do you actually engage them into the regional and really international tech and innovation ecosystem? And then these are just sort of two precepts at the bottom. We want you to leverage what you have. You don't have, this is never sort of a rip and replace scenario. There's always a way of piecing together and synthesizing what you currently have. You identify gaps and bring in additional services and solutions where you need them, and then just a recognition that you have to take everybody at their own pace, sort of as they are. Every city, we love Boston, we love San Francisco, but every city isn't sort of where they are necessarily. We all have different needs and challenges. This is just a slide that kind of explains the overall ecosystem that Microsoft can provide when we're working with clients. We're proud to have moved up in this Navigant Research Leaderboard. I think we were at 3 a few years, we were at 11 a few years ago rather, now up to 3. They really focused on 3 major areas where the company provides sort of a holistic basket of benefits to clients, but that's product, partner, and program. Products I'm not really going to get into, but that's sort of the core part of our business. We have licensed products, we have cloud, we have appliances, we have devices, et cetera. We have about 430,000 partners globally who are all doing work in the commercial, education, government sector in basically every area, every vertical that you can think of. The way that we divide the world, we think of kind of digital government, so digital modern government solutions and partners that help cities become more sustainable, healthy, safe, and educated. That's sort of the rubric or the categorization that we think about the world. But we'll typically have a partner who can cover solutions and subject matter expertise in any of those areas. And then the program piece is what I just mentioned. It's not just about the technology, it's about creating a more inclusive technology ecosystem, whether you're thinking about folks who are using it or actually getting into the ecosystem as content producers. Just a couple of things that we'll go. This is a preview, so we'll go a little bit deeper into these areas. But the scalable surveying and the BI analytics are kind of evolution of, I would say, the work that we all do in 311, and then sort of thinking about how do we as the brain of the operation, which I really think of 311 as, how do we do a better job ingesting, analyzing that information, and then using it to provide useful insights. On the scalable survey side, we have there's a new tool that we have called Microsoft Pulse, and it's like a real-time engagement tool. So there's myriad use cases for it. You can think of using it in some sort of a public meeting. In some kind of a town hall meeting. You could use it in a classroom to survey and quiz students. And then I think there are also just a bunch of internal use cases where you could use it. You could even use it in larger meetings. But it's basically easily deployable. You can spin it up in seconds. It really takes you as long to spin it up as it will take you to plug in your name and password and email. And it's in contrast to sort of the previous generation of audience response tools that usually required, hardware. It was more expensive, time-consuming to get up and running. You can only hit a certain number of respondents, and it's it's sort of difficult or costly to get real-time, second-by-second reactions. And some of you may have seen Pulse in action. It was actually used during the State of the Union address to track audience response. So sometimes if you're watching like a CNN show and you'll see that ticker in the bottom where people are gauging what people are thinking at a particular point in time, that's Microsoft Pulse, and that technology is now available and easily deployable at low cost to city clients. In terms of the BI piece, I guess what we're seeing is a trend over time that's really tracking with the cost and robusticity of the analytical technology. But we sort of went from sort of a descriptive what happened, looking back, then to a more diagnostic, like, well, why did that happen? But now we're getting into the ability to use tools that help figure out what will happen, which would be predictive analytics, and then actually how can we affect outcomes? How can we make policy and operational and administrative practice prescriptive so that we actually can affect outcomes? And then when you think about dashboards, I just think it's sort of a general catch-all category for, ultimately the goal of all of this is how do we make, how do we take all this data, all this information, and make it understandable, accessible, some people use the word snackable. How do we present it in a format and then deliver it to the right people the right way at the right time so that it can have the kind of beneficial impact on service improvement or cost reduction or efficiency that we want it to have. And with that, I'll just pass it over to my colleague Umang. Umang's going to talk a little bit about the platform, our Dynamics platform, our CRM, and how it's evolved over recent years to better serve and evolve with the needs that government has and also the expectations that the customers have. And I have just passed it over to Umang.
Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you, Jeff. So first of all, I want to kind of talk about the Citizen Services 311 application, which is built on our Microsoft Dynamics platform. So I want to go a little bit deeper into what that platform is all about. So basically, our Dynamics platform is a declarative business application framework which surfaces the power of Microsoft technologies, which helps into accelerating or configuration and development to deliver what we call is the line of business applications, such as Citizen Services 311, which are data-centric applications. So Citizen Services 311, as we all know, is a data-centric application, which means there's a user interface, and then in that user interface, it surfaces the relational database that tracks people, places, or things. And in Citizen Services 311 application, it's all about request-centric. It tracks the request, and then meaning you intake it from various channels, and then you put them into the process, leveraging the workflow, and then there's the reporting, and there's the analytics, which Jeff talked about. So all of these bells and whistles, such as data validation, workflow, it's all built in to these platforms, and these bells and whistles are required when you build other applications other than 311, and I'll talk about that in just a minute, and then we'll also go deeper and demonstrating when we are in Phoenix. So all of these other things, such as integrations with Microsoft Office, mobility, it's all built into these platforms. So we call it the one, development platform or configuration platform, and many applications. So if we were to take a look at a high level of our Citizen Services 311 capabilities, right, we have the multi-channel capabilities across social, web chats, traditional channels, phone calls, and then you have the knowledge base, enterprise case management. But then if you were to look at the examples, that we have seen on how that same, Dynamics CRM application or platform has been used in, different use cases such as, events permitting, grants management, professional licensing, and we can go deeper about these things in Phoenix. So the whole concept of one platform, any application, and not only that, but it also leverages or the configuration, all the other things. So as your change management changes, you can configure this very rapidly and very quickly. So this platform delivers these other applications very inexpensively. And Grant can go a little bit deeper into that and how we partner with them. So Grant, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Thanks, Suman. I want to just share with you a few things, and it was interesting to listen to Donna talk earlier on, and for those that haven't met me, I've been at Synergy the last few years and shared what cities are doing, other cities are doing, with their 311 and with their CRM applications, and how they're using the Microsoft CRM platform to build out all sorts of interesting solutions. And it's interesting again to listen to Donna talk about millennials, and obviously, the younger generation, or certainly younger than me, is looking to move, or is already disconnected or connected wirelessly. They're connected on different types of devices, and they're accessing those services from all of the service providers, including their cities, in a very different way than they were, even 5 or 10 years ago. So things are really changing. And what we're going to do is spend some time at Synergy in Phoenix showing you what some of the other cities are doing around interesting solutions for things like emergency management, grants management, how cities are using the same CRM platform that they use for 311 for permits and licensing, even things as odd as a lobbyists registries for politicians at the civic level. Elections, how are they managing elections using that exact same platform? Even things like procurement are all being managed on the exact same platform that they're using for 311. So really, you're going to spend a whole lot of time, and I don't want to short myself of the things we're going to be showing in Phoenix, but really going to be talking about some really exciting solutions that, and I want to share with you the stories that they're going to be showing or that they have already implemented and are up and running with to just become a more online city, engaged with their citizens on a very, very different level, ready for those millennials, doing those sorts of things. So we're going to spend a whole bunch of time at Synergy talking about those things and sharing what those cities are doing and how they can do that, again, all based on that single platform. So a really interesting opportunity to speak with everybody at Phoenix and share with those stories and what other cities are doing. So with that, I'm really going to pass it off. I don't know if Amber, we're going back to you, or Jeff, actually.
I'm doing
Jeff.
I'm doing 30 seconds. So Becky Joe could not be on the call, as I mentioned, and I will not be able to Becky Joe as Becky Joe does herself. But this is just sort of the outline of the remarks that she intends to give. Kind of the current landscape of how people are using CRM in traditional, non-traditional ways. The evolution of usage. Just how do you once you get beyond the reactivity of responding to inquiries and service requests, how do you use that information that you're capturing to develop useful insights? How do you go beyond that tier 1 call, going to tier 2 and tier 3, and how do you leverage 3111 for downstream business process improvement with your constituent departments, connecting the dots. How do you sort of put it all together and create a more seamless experience for the customer? And then I think where Becky Joe's going with this creating a digital city hall is how do you, I guess ultimately I think of this as the efficiency that comes from call diversion techniques, but how do you create a really personalized experience for the user so that they're getting the information that they want, the service request capacity that they want with, in a more automated, seamless, personalized fashion. And with that, I will pass, I will let the next speaker take over.
Thank you so very much for that look into the Microsoft CityNext. We look forward to seeing all of those presentations at the 311 Synergy Group meeting soon. Next, we have Tiffany Blair with one of our 311 Synergy Group Diamond sponsors, Oracle Public Sector. Thank you, Tiffany, for joining us today.
Great, thank you. Good morning, everybody. And first, thank you all for giving Oracle the opportunity today to share a little sneak preview of what we're going to be presenting and demonstrating at the 311 Synergy Group CS Week. We're very excited. I'm personally very excited because there's still snow on the ground and I can't wait to get to Phoenix, but we're very also happy to serve as a Diamond sponsor and really look forward to meeting all of you and sharing some ideas with the leaders of the 311 community. Again, my name is Tiffany Blair. I'm a Senior Principal Product Manager for Oracle's Customer Experience Suite, or CX Suite. I'm responsible for our strategic investment in Oracle solutions for public sector, including 311. So just to get us started here, I just wanted to share a little bit about what we're going to be talking about when we meet up in Phoenix. We really want it to be an interactive conversation with you all. We want to engage with you to really understand and evaluate, what the driving forces are behind the desire to modernize our country's 311 contact centers. We want to know what you're seeing and experiencing on a day-to-day basis. We've met with many 311 customers around the country, and what we really found is that there are two key factors that kind of repeat themselves each time we have these conversations within the municipalities. First is really that increasing expectation of what citizens are expecting from their government, and it's really based on how their consumer experience has changed when they're interacting with other industries. And also we want to talk about really the impact of cloud computing and what that's really brought with its ability to bring more innovative capabilities at a faster pace to citizens and really at a lower cost than our existing contact centers today. Just to elaborate a bit further, we all kind of know what is driving this change in citizen expectations. We had kind of heard a bit of it in the millennial conversation. We're all citizens and consumers ourselves. Whether it's the web self-service experience where we get instant action at any time on any device, just like you're making a purchase on Amazon, or you're making a complaint on social media about a bad customer experience and you hear directly back from the company you complained about offering to remedy the situation. I always use the example, if you think back to the last time you had a flight canceled, which hopefully hasn't been recently, but when you get that flight canceled, you get into the first airport and you get this email telling you you're delayed and you've been rebooked and it's 2 days later, and that's totally not going to work. So you log into the airline's mobile application from your phone and you see that there are better flight options available. So what do you do first? You call up customer service from your phone. You start walking towards the customer service line in the airport, and by the end of it, you're rebooked on a better flight, and you have just used 4 different channels in the span of 15 minutes. You've used email, you've used a mobile application, you've been in person, you've been on the phone. So you could even go on Twitter and applaud or complain about the service you just received. And this is really how millennials are operating today. So it really ties back to that conversation, and it's really the new norm. And a few years ago, it wasn't. So things are really changing quickly, and people's expectations as citizens and consumers are changing very quickly, and they want that all-channel experience. And with so much access to all of this stuff, and only the really modern businesses and agencies are going to be able to compete on this customer experience and really stand out from all of the others. So it's really this experience as consumers that's really driving our expectations as citizens. So none of this is really what we didn't already know, but how do we as technology companies, as government organizations, get to a place where we can deliver this complete customer service experience, all of those things I just described in the airline sort of commercial experience, how do we get that to line up with what we experience with government? When you evaluate the consumer expectations of what they're getting from companies like Amazon or their favorite hotel chain, we found there's really 3 themes that are considered critical to driving a positive customer interaction. So the customer experience, in our case, is the citizen experience, really brings elements of a few things. It's the engagement with the customer, or in this case, the citizen. It's really empowering your employees with the right tools and information, and then it's being able to adapt quickly, to change your business on the fly with, changing circumstances, different citizen demands, being able to adapt really fast to that. And frankly, if it was this simple of these 3 points, we wouldn't all be here. But all of us, as either customer service organizations or technology organizations, acknowledge that the road to a modern customer service experience can be very long and involved, but also very exciting and innovative. And we really want to get to the heart of that when we're with you all in Phoenix. So what Oracle wants you to really walk away from the meeting in Phoenix is really a plan of action on what you need to deliver those 3 elements I just talked about, so of engage, empower, adapt. We want you to give you a roadmap or a blueprint to get there, and we really want you to see how other 311 organizations are already doing it. So what we're going to be covering as we're there, we're going to talk about how to bring that omni-channel or all-channel experience like I described with the delayed flight. So how do you give your citizens all of these options, but in a connected, integrated, effective way? How do you really personalize that experience to the citizen's need? How do you make the customer feel like you kind of already know them, you know what their issue is going to be, you understand their issue, and you have the answer quickly and efficiently, and hopefully they get the answer, frankly, without ever talking to a human or an employee. So, and how do you help the citizens really solve their own questions? How your self-service applications can provide an intuitive guide that gives them all the knowledge and information consistently across all your channels. And finally, what are the different ways you can give your citizens to feel engaged with the community and really use that community to provide answers? In other words, how can you help citizens engage not only with your employees, but with themselves and with the different citizens in the broader community? So definitely focusing on that engage element when we're there in Phoenix. Also, we want to get to get to the key elements of empowering your employees. So how do you put together a vision of how you can empower them with knowledge and technology so they can better, more happily complete their job? So we're going to really look at how to empower your employees with rich, really interactive, intelligent tools, knowledge, a unified desktop for all of the channels, how your employees can use social trends and sentiment to really drive a better customer experience, and also leverage elements of even marketing or outreach tools to really target specific stakeholders for getting them the right information at the right time, whether it's about a new program, whether it's about an update in services, making sure the people who are receiving those services know when they're coming and understand it. And also really having role-specific analytics that give you all, as leaders within the 311 organization, operational and performance insights that you can continuously be improving the service delivery. Finally, so that's something we don't always think about in the context of 311. Excuse me, I'm on the wrong slide here. We'll just move on to the next one here. And moving on to the adapt piece. So this is really what I think is the most important to leaders within the 311 organizations. Definitely very important to empower your employees and to really engage with your citizens, but by far the most impactful is the ability for your organization to adapt its contact center technology when these changes are coming in quickly. So we're going to really be talking about how a complete platform for your contact center can really drive agility and let you respond to emergency situations, new programs, new policies, changing budgets, et cetera. You really have to be able to move quickly in these circumstances and ensure your technology moves along with you. And we really feel that agility is going to be driven by highly configurable, fully integrated tools that are not only secure, but also provide you the ability to leverage cloud licensing that's tailored to your business and extend your capabilities with additional platform features. So really being able to ensure your organization is ready for change and can respond quickly to that. So just a little bit more here, talking more about cloud computing. So we talked about the 3 elements of engage, empower, adapt, and how this allows you to address that those higher standards that you're getting from your citizens for the services you're providing. But the question is, how do we actually provide all these things, and what's the cost of it? How do we actually get to the point where we can deliver that complete citizen experience that they're expecting? And this is really where cloud computing comes into play. And we're definitely going to spend some time talking about what it means to you as 311 organization. So at the highest level, it's really all about taking all of the financial and technology resource burden off of your organization and kind of shifting it over to a third party. You know, with cloud, you're no longer focused on managing the technology behind your contact center, the data center, the hardware, the databases, the actual capital investment that goes along with that. All this is shifted over to your cloud provider, folks like Oracle. So by shifting these elements to someone like Oracle, you as the consumer are really left to be able to focus on modernizing and innovating your contact center in a very fast manner. So you can tailor your solution, you can tailor your business processes, you can give a really rich user experience so that you can achieve that sort of modern, effective customer service delivery system. And really all of this comes with a more palatable cost structure that's flexible and sort of tailored to your needs. And Oracle has a number of customers like yourselves, fellow 311 systems, today that are delivering on this mission to really offer that complete customer service and engagement platform. And it really makes it easy for citizens to engage and empower their service delivery workers and, again, help adapt them to that rapidly changing stakeholder demands and business conditions. And most importantly, you're going to get the chance to hear from them while we're in Phoenix. So we're really excited to bring some great speakers your way from some of our existing customers. We're going to have Chris Hopson, who's the 311 Division Manager for the City of Sacramento. So very excited to see what they're doing there, some of the lessons learned, some of the challenges they experience and how they address them, so that hopefully you all have some takeaways from that as well. And we'll also have Julie Sanchez, Director of Citizen Services for the City of Fort Wayne. So also very happy to have her joining us for the conversation. So with that, I welcome you all to stop by our booth to ask us questions. Hopefully you take away some new ideas of how your organization can continue on that path to that modern citizen experience and how Oracle might be able to assist you. So thank you all for your time today. I'll see you all in Phoenix and turn it back over to Lynnette. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. If you have any questions for our presenters, please submit them through the Q&A panel to all participants so everyone can see them. I'm just checking on the Q&A queue. So, question for you, Tiffany. Will Oracle be demonstrating some of the products showing the capabilities you just presented?
Yeah, we're very excited. We're going to have demos available, so you'll get to see a lot of those sort of features and cool capabilities I shared earlier. So we'll be able to share some of that during our presentation, as well as welcome you to stop by and check that out as well. Very excited to share part of Oracle's CX product suite, so come stop by for that.
Thank you, Tiffany. Let's see here. So let's see, for Donna, are they currently working on initiatives to offer self-service for citizens outside of regular business hours? Donna.
Yes, basically, well, we have some already in our IVR, but we're also working with our new CRM system that we are actually in the soft launch now. We're implementing, and it's called RVA1, and that's going to have different self-service options for the citizens, 24/7.
Thank you for that, Donna. Okay, looks like we have a question for Atlanta. What is the average customer service representative salary? Okay. Our average customer service salary for our CSR 1, which is the entry level, is $38,320, and the average salary for our CSR level 2 is $45,000. So we have two tiers. Level 1 has primary responsibility for call intake, And level 2 primarily processes requests from all of the channels. So we have our portal, our self-service portal, so customers are submitting requests online 24/7. So our back office, or what we refer to as our CSR2 group, they process those requests, as well as requests coming in for fax. We no longer have email because the portal, of course, replaced that channel. The CSR2s, they also rotate in other areas within the contact center. So they will spend some time with our quality assurance team, as well as our trainers and our workforce management team. So that's more like a grooming role. It's grooming them for other positions as they become available, so that we can promote from within and really develop an internal workforce pool of talent that we know that we absolutely need to remain operational and achieve success. Those are the 2 levels for call takers and the associated salaries. Let me check and see if I have any more questions. For Donna, has Richmond considered a mobile application?
Yes, and I think as part of one of our phases with our CRM, that's a part of it.
Okay. Thank you for that, Donna. See, checking for additional questions. Everyone, please get your questions in. Okay, we just want to let everyone know that this program will be recorded and available for playback along with our other archive presentations later this afternoon. You will find it by selecting 311 Synergy Group under the Webinars drop-down menu on the csweek.org homepage. Okay, just another check here for questions. Okay, well, I'd like to certainly thank you again to our presenters, and a special thanks to our 2016 311 Synergy Group Diamond sponsors, Microsoft and Oracle Public Sector. Thank you everyone for joining us today and participating in the 311 webinar series. We look forward to seeing you when you begin our next webinar series after the conference, and hope to see you at the 311 Synergy meeting in Phoenix. Have a great day.